Welcome back, designers. Today I got a flat tutorial design in Affinity Designer for you. This is a pretty popular style. I'm sure you've seen it, and I'm going to kind of go over how to do it. It's really not that hard. It's pretty easy. The only catch to it is you really got to be precise with what you do. Otherwise, it's going to look really bad. There's not a lot of in between with flat design. Either you nail it or it just totally kind of fails. So I'm going to go through this document. We're not going to recreate this document. What I'm going to do is we're going to do an iPhone off to the side here and just kind of add to it. Maybe we'll add another thing if the iPhone goes really quick. But what I'm going to start doing is when I was learning this kind of stuff, it helped a lot to actually have the file. I would get a lot of those magazines like Creative Design and just Photoshop magazines, Illustrator magazines, and Computer Arts was a big one. Always came with the CD and everything. And they would have files in them, so you would do the tutorial, and then you could actually like look at the file itself. And just even in school and stuff, the teachers would you'd have a file kind of to work with. So what I'm going to start doing, all of my tutorials from now on, I'm going to be putting the actual file on my website for you to download so you can actually go through and, if you're looking at this mouse and you go, man, is it just as simple as, those three kind of things, like just, a circle and a shade and an Apple logo? Yes, it is. So, it'll allow you to kind of go through these things yourself and, just kind of learn. If you're following along with me and you're not really figuring something out, then, you can just double check it. So, where that's going to be is on my website, which is vectorart.club, not .com, .club. And the website right now looks a little sparse. I had to, switch over different hosting. So it looks, it's pretty bare right now, but it will be up there. Go to vectorart.club. I'll have a link for it down in the thing. And let's get started on this. Before we get started, I want to show you a quick thing. There's this kind of flat design, but then there's one other like real trendy thing that they do, which is like the shadows that, go all the way over. And I just want to show you how I did that. Basically, all they are is they're just basically triangles that just, go from each corner of the design. And the way you do it, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but if I don't, I know I'm going to forget to show you guys this. The way you want to do it is you have, no matter how many objects and everything, you want to have a single point. And usually that point, it looks better if it's like off the side. But as you can see, no matter how many objects you got and where they're going, you want to have a vanishing point pre-established that they all go to. And, the best way, sometimes even marking on the screen, like putting something physically on your screen or like kind of holding your finger for a second while you kind of draw off. Or if you just want to draw everything to a single point and then do what I'm doing right now, just select the corner and then you can kind of play with it. And, if you get too crazy, you're going to have to go back in and adjust. But, for the most part. So let's say I did want it like this. This would be in whatever corner. And then that would have to kind of get caught back here. And then this would go up to here. But you get what I'm saying. You're just taking the corners and doing the shadows. So that's something trendy that is a big thing, but I didn't want to do that for all the items. I just wanted to kind of show you that real quick. So let's get right into doing the iPhone. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way here. The plugs, as simple as it is, there's still... there's still some detail in this stuff, and I think it's good to have the download. So, let me know what you guys think. So, okay, new layer. Let's do, we're going to be doing my phone. I personally have an iPhone 6. So, I have that physically in front of me right now that I'm looking at. as you're doing flat designs, so the thing to remember about flat design is there's no gradient. It's all just harsh cuts. If we zoom in, the shadow is not blurred. It's just a harsh shadow. Anywhere, it's basically just kind of keeping an eye out for where your shadows are, putting hard lines there, and being just real subtle about it. Subtlety is the name of the game with flat design. Let's start here with this. And that looks about right. We're going to go up here. And that seems about right. So your light source too, when you're doing flat design, like your light source is coming directly down, or, it'll cross. I mean, for the most part, you don't want to do too long of shadows unless you do that harsh thing that I showed you. You just want to keep it real simple. Keep it simple. So, okay, I'm looking at the iPhone. Actually, it is a little bit more rounded than I thought it was. Okay, so I'm looking at the 6, and we do have a little bit of a metal. If you're looking straight at it, you can still see that metal edge around it, and then the inside's pretty much going to be black. You never want to go full black unless for sure you want that style. And here's the other thing. If you're doing a comp like this, like let's say, and the reason I did this specific kind of thing is that this is really big with portfolios and stuff. A lot of designers have like a banner up top where they have all their, I'm sure you've seen a setup like this before. So, you guys are learning Affinity, you're designers. Eventually you're going to want to do a design portfolio. Who knows? You might want to have this. So, you just want to make sure your colors are all about the same. You don't want to have a lot of varying colors. It's hard to show in this because everything is all black and white, but even if you had even if the phone was red and this was blue, you still want to have those same values, going on. And, you just want to be clicking in you can make swatches. If you wanted to, you could have a couple swatches that you can color pick from for the shadows and the different colors, but just be mindful that you don't want to get color crazy here, and you want to kind of keep everything within the same tone. For instance, let me just show you real quick. Let's say we did have a red here. Okay. And then, sorry, there was something on my mouse there. Okay. And then let's say we had another object up here and we want this to be blue. We still want it. Let's see if I can do the big thing. Okay. We still want it right about there. So, we would bring it over here, but we'd still want to make sure it's that same value, so that's what I mean by that. Is you just want to kind of make sure you're keeping things close in value. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I paused it real quick. Because I'm talking about it, I'm looking at it, in person, but, just so you guys can see and we can, talk about it together. Now you can see the iPhone 6. Okay. So I'm going to make it just a tad more, but as you can see the edges around the side. So let's go. And like I was just saying, instead of going and making it a gray, even if the gray's a little off, because we're doing this layout like this, we want to pick, from the metals. So we'll kind of go with this is, the metal color we defined earlier off the Apple Pencil. So what you do is you highlight it, click it, and then you got to click this button to make it that. Oh, okay. And that is really close to the background. So maybe we should go a little lighter here. A little too light. You know what? Let's just go with a darker gray. Okay. That actually works better anyway, I think. Okay, so that's about right. Okay, I'm looking at it. Okay, so we got to do like 3 nubs on this side for the sound vibration on and off, and then the volume buttons, and then the on and off button over here. And maybe we'll put, there is like a little bit of a line here that wraps around. So, okay, let's just get into that. Okay, whoops. Okay, new layer. Drop that down. And let's see how they rounded. Yeah, they got a little round to them. Okay, so we got one. Let's get rid of that stroke. Let's make the fill. Let's kind of go with this. Okay. I'm going to drop this behind that. And I just want to see something here. Okay, so right about there. And okay. Okay, so let me look. That goes down a little bit. So basically, you're just kind of eyeballing stuff, and you're just taking what you see and really trying to simplify it as much as you can. Hold the Alt key and Shift to duplicate. Oops. And then the volume buttons are a little bigger. Alt key, Shift. And that is pretty big. So I'm going to adjust that. Select both of them and those like that. Okay, I mean that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now, okay, so the screen itself, you can barely see in the iPhone when it's off. So let's, man, I almost do want to make this a little bit darker. You know, I take that back. I don't think we're going to do the little inset because by the time we put a glare on this, I think we'll be okay. Okay, so let's just do the little things on top. Make a new layer. Okay, so we got the little earpiece. And now this, so when you look at it, it's actually lighter than the black. You would think that this would be black, but because it's inset, but it's actually giving off a little highlight. So we are going to make that this color, which I think it already is. Yeah, okay. Okay, and we do have the magnet tool turned on, so we're going to zoom in here, and that way now we know it's nice and center. And off to the side of that, we just have a little circle for the camera. And same thing, we're going to zoom in, and there we go. It actually comes in a little bit more. Okay, and like I said, we're just keeping it real simple. Now we're just going to do the outline for this. So we're pretty much going to just do stroke only on this. You know what? You know what I want to do? I actually want to duplicate this because let me look at my iPad real quick. I'm almost positive they're the same size. Yeah, those are the exact same size in real life. So let's just copy that and come up to here and paste that. And then we can just do that and get rid of the fill here. Man, sorry guys, my mouse keeps acting up on me. Okay, and then yeah, see, that's what I'm saying about subtlety is I had, even though you don't really see it, I had like a little bit of a shadow in there. Over on here, it is pretty harsh, so I'm definitely going to tone that down quite a bit. Let's just drop the opacity like just down to like 5 even. So you can barely see that. Okay, and the phone, the iPad actually does have a metal insert on it. Like it literally has this metal ring around it, is where the phone doesn't. So I'm gonna get this stroke way down because you do see a highlight on it, but it's not. Maybe just a tad thicker. And then, like I said, even with flat design, you want to simplify. So if we were trying to do like a real rendering of this, you know, we'd have like a little bit more going on in here. I don't know. Personally, I just want to skip all that because it's a flat design. And, you know, let's put a highlight on this. And I think that's going to be about it. So the way to do a really quick highlight is to kind of do a mask for this. And like all these are not like click, you know, sketched out. Basically what I'm doing is, you know, let's just do a big square and then the stroke or we're going to pick that color. Okay, and all I'm going to do is drop this. If you've watched any of the other videos, like the BB-8 or a lot of them I do. So if you take what's on top, drag it, see how this is going to put it under that. We don't want that. We want it in it. So once it goes inside of it, it becomes masked by, you know, what you put it in. So now that is a masked. Okay, so our problem with the phone is that it's gonna, because of the colors here, we're losing a lot of detail. So I'm gonna drop the opacity down to 50, and you know, like I'm saying, you really want to limit the color palette, but you know, if you got to put some colors that aren't really there in there, go ahead, but just make sure, you know, you kind of keep it subtle. So that's all you're really doing is, you know, trying to find, it doesn't have to be like the same angle on everything, but you just got to think like, okay, if the sun or if the room's light source was coming like straight down and I'm looking at it, you know, how is that going to be? You just don't want to do nothing that like gives it depth really. Okay, so that's the iPhone. Let's give it a drop shadow. So let's take the whole layer now. Okay, and it appears some of the stuff. Okay, sometimes when you make layers, they pop up on top and everything, so you got to reorganize stuff. Okay, so this is our iPhone 6 layer. We just want to put an effect on it to do a stroke, or I'm sorry, a drop shadow in Affinity. It's called outer shadow. It's a drop shadow. I'm so used to Photoshop, but we want to make it normal. The shadows we do want to for sure try to keep using the same color. So I'm going to go into the shadow on this. I think that's right. Hold on. Okay. And get it over here so you guys can see. Okay. Okay, so we got the color offset. That's just bringing it out like that. No, that color ain't right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it was on. Okay, so make sure you got a normal and the opacity all the way up. You just want to bring it out a little bit, and you want to make sure all of the angles are right. And these other ones, I had it set just down a little bit. And you just don't want to put a lot of shadow on this. You just want to give it a little, like a super little pop. And that's my flat iPhone. You know, you just want to keep it simple, get rid of a lot of the details that you just don't need. And, you know, keep it simple, man. It's a flat design. But like I said, you got to be precise. You don't want to overdo it by going in and trying to add too much. You can add a little bit more and still keep it flat. But, you know, this is it. I hope you guys are following along. I know it was kind of easy, you know, and we kind of did something a little different than redoing an object. But like I said, this is available online, vectorart.club. Go ahead, download it, open it for yourself. I'm going to save it right now. And, you know, I'll see you guys next tutorial. I got a lot of really cool stuff coming up that I think you guys are going to enjoy. And till next time.